So Sidney, you obviously had a certain way with people. You have a certain way with the camera. Both this one and the one back in the day that people actually are very fond of the images that came out from under it. What was your secret sauce?
In hindsight, thinking about it as a child or as a kid, I did something that most people, most photographers wouldn't even think about it, I don't think, at the time. I made nice with the roadies, with the road crew. I took pictures of the road crew working, and I would develop the pictures. I'd show them the pictures, and they'd say, "You took this of us? Man, this is good." Well, and then I'd show them the pictures I shot, say, of Greg Allman, Dwayne Allman, and say, have they seen these? Come on, let me show you. Let's say, and then they would introduce me to the band. And I'm just using the Allman Brothers as an example, but it could have been any band. But that's the kind of thing I did. I would observe the people around the band and make them feel good.
What about the promoters?
Well, the promoters, those were the ones who I would show the pictures to get the job in the first place. In the very beginning, I was just a concert goer, and I would take pictures. And then I would show them to the promoters like the next week, or in my case, I'd actually go home, develop the pictures all night long, and lose sleep, and then go to school the next day and sell them to my friends in high school. And of course, I'd also go to the promoters and say, "Hey, by the way, this is what I shot of the show." And they say, "Really?"
So the promoters were the ones that brought you in to shoot the bands, not the band's publicist or the record label?
Well, in the very, very beginning,
Okay.
The promoters. I mean, in New Orleans, the Warehouse was the club. It was kind of the Fillmore East, Fillmore West of the South. It was called the Warehouse. And I went to the Warehouse originally as just a paying customer, a ticket goer. But I had a camera, and I had relatively close access. You got a lot closer access in those days than you do today. And I'd shoot pictures. I'd develop them. I'd print them. I'd knock on the promoter's door and I'd say, "By the way, I had chutzpah, I mean, every time my family took a vacation, for instance, to go visit relatives in New York, I'd leave the relatives behind and I'd take a train into New York City and knock on the doors of Rolling Stone, Circus, Cream, Hit Parader. By the way, this is my portfolio." I'd say, "Really? Come on in, son. Let's see what you got." I'd knock on the Globe Photos door. I mean, anybody who I thought could help me in my career. Now, one interesting story. In 1972, I attended, just as a freelance photographer, I went to the Democratic and Republican conventions in Miami, shot pictures of the protesters out in the streets. That was heavy-duty Vietnam War years, and I won a National Newsweek photo contest for a photo that I shot in the protest park. Well, it just so happened that Dickie Betts of the Allman Brothers was getting married on the same night as the awards ceremony being held in New York, where they were awarding the photographers who won prizes. And I had to make a decision, because Dickie Betts had also asked me to photograph his wedding. I had to make that decision whether I was going to go to New York to the Newsweek banquet, where I might perhaps have gotten a job with Newsweek as a Newsweek photographer. That would have been a dream job too for me. But I chose Dickie Betts' wedding over that, and I ended up, endearing myself even more to the Allman Brothers and their legacy and their family. And to this day, I know those people very, very well.